Po Toi is a prehistoric site and is a fascinating history over the last 100 years, reflecting that of Hong Kong, both pre the Second World War, during the Second World War when a Japanese outpost was stationed on the island, and post the Second World War as a fishing village with over 1,000 inhabitants, declining through the last decades into a largely derelict village with a resident population of about 20 to 100 persons.
Paul, who is the fourth generation of Po Toi inhabitants, is willing to have an interview with us. She said that in the past, inhabitants relied on fishing and selling seaweed to earn a living. However, because of the overfishing and the pollution of water along the shore, they can no longer catch a sufficient amount of fishes to make ends meet. They have started to change from fishing industry to a tourism industry. Po is now having a store in Po Toi Pier, and her fans have opened a cafe or restaurant to make a business.
A spring festival including Chinese opera and dragon boat racing in the harbour is held every year in April. This actually attracts thousands of visitors annually. Seaweed is also a famous product from Po Toi. Seaweed is being collected along the shore and is dried under the sun. The island had historically a maximum of about 1,000 fishermen and farmers, whose economic activity consisted mainly in fishing, farming, and seaweed harvesting. The population lived mainly in two villages, Cheung and Shan Liu. The population decreased sharply over the past decades, with the younger generations moving to the city.
Since the early inhabitants of this area depends on the sea for their livelihood, most locations of these ancient rock carvings overlooking the sea may have been intended to propitiate the power of the sea.
The waters around Po Toi are still relatively unpolluted and support good populations of fish and other wildlife, which provide a livelihood and recreational activity for many individuals. Large shoals of fish can regularly be seen off the southeast coast. Finnish porpoise are common in these waters, particularly in spring when they migrate through the area, often in family parties with calves, according to the Hong Kong Dolphin Conservation Society. The waters in Po Toi Islands are regularly visited by Finnish porpoises. The humpback whale, recorded in March 2009, could be regularly seen from the west coast of Po Toi during its stay in water. The SWNT DSR in 2001 also identified the coastal waters of Po Toi Islands as inshore water. The values of protection and recreational areas in terms of their natural coastal features, coral communities, and marine organisms have been recognized. The study also suggests that low-density recreational developments that are properly managed could be considered for the area. The Po Toi Islands are suggested to be significant areas in both land and marine conservation, as suggested by the Planning Department in 1998, based on information collected in recent years, in particular that of migratory birds. Po Toi should be considered as a unique area for conservation. The harbor at Taiwan hosts fish farms run by the few remaining Po Toi residents. Professional fishermen use the immediate offshore with boats coming from Po Toi and Aberdeen to catch fish and dive for sea urchins. Po Toi residents continue to collect seaweed to dry and sell to weekend visitors. Recreational fishermen are regularly visitors to Po Toi at all seasons and can always be seen around the harbour. On the shoreline down the Nam Kok Tsui, or in small boats off the south and east coast.
呢度嘅海洋物種你覺得多唔多？或者你有冇見過？
我釣開魚
啊
係啦，所以咧就比較我都會保護個環境多啲嘅。咁呢度個物種就唔算多，係啦，因為比較因為一來有捕魚啦，同埋有打魚啦，所以形形色色，同埋所以就啲魚種咧會比較稀疏啲而家，係啦。
咁通常會話有邊幾隻魚係比較易釣？我啱啱見到有人釣到石狗公。
OK，咁我可以講講啦。石鯊、雀鷯、石狗公。如果日季嘅冬天嘅就白辣啦，就黃辣倉啦、雞魚啦嗰類咯，即係比較平常嗰扎魚咯。如果話稀有少少啊，黃衣啊嗰扎嘢咧，石蚌咧就而家比較少啦，因為俾人哋打魚打得太多。係啦，咁樣子啦。
Potoi is actually a place with the city's high diversity of soft corals, gorgonians, and black corals. At least 51 of the 73 species of coral recorded in Hong Kong can be found here. The area is also a magnet for fish, and more than 103 species of reef fish, reach 23% of the total reef fish species in Hong Kong. 19 of these are not regularly found in local waters, including the near-threatened spotted eagle ray, the endangered Hong Kong grouper, and the endangered black spot tuskfish. According to the report from WWF, Potoi Island is facing the most serious pollution problem. It's stated that, in average, there are 1,455 pieces of rubbish in a 5 × 25 meters beach area. Also, the report stated that there are 570.6 pieces of rubbish, of which 80% are plastic waste being found in every 2 hours in the sea. As we know, one of the beaches of Potoi is regarded as Rubbish Bay because the beaches are all covered by plastic waste blew from the sea. Actually, solid waste pollution can lead to serious situation to a marine habitat of Potoi Island. We have interviewed Dr. Wong about the issue.
海洋垃圾問題就分幾個層面去講嘅。咁首先就係睇下嗰啲固體垃圾係屬於咩類型啦。咁譬如如果係講緊一啲塑膠樽啊，或者係一啲即棄嘅餐具用品啊，即係可能啲遊客去完嗰個地方，將啲膠袋、膠樽抌落海。咁如果係佢哋喺面上面嘅話，咁佢可能會阻擋嗰個光線，去阻擋陽光啦，去到海洋入邊啦，咁就可能會影響到喺海洋生物。如果佢哋譬如有啲藻類啊、啲植物係需要到陽光去做光合作用嘅，咁咪會減少咗佢哋嗰個生長，咁亦都會即係減少到佢做咗光合作用嘅機會啦，亦都會唔能影響到佢哋生長啦。咁啊，如果有啲動物係會食一啲譬如好似海水母或者係食嘢嘅時候，唔小心食到呢啲海洋嘅垃圾。咁佢哋誤以為呢啲係食得嘅，食咗之後，咁佢塑膠嚟噶嘛，佢喺體入邊冇辦法去消化，咁就可能會令到佢哋會窒息啦，或者喺阻住咗佢哋嘅腸啊消化，咁長遠嚟講就會令到佢哋會死啦。咁如果再長遠啲嘅，如果呢啲垃圾係會釋放一啲化學物質出嚟，咁喺個海洋入邊，如果呢啲化學物質嗰個含量係越嚟越高，咁亦都會影響到嗰個水質啦，同埋影響到嗰啲生物嗰個繁殖啊，影響到佢哋嗰個生態咁咯。
Muipo also said that the seaweed in the shore is polluted, which giving a stinky smell. It may due to the rubbish which accumulated along the shore contaminate the seaweed. Muipo now have to go to the middle of the sea to catch seaweed which are less polluted.
唔係話較嚴重嗰隻係輕微嚴重嗰隻咯，係啦，因為佢永遠都係對住個大海咧，所以就會比較有垃圾都會過晒去。
我記得前一排嗰度都有個垃圾灣。
係啦，
因為我都嚟過。係。 你覺得有冇啲咩措施可以我哋去做，或者響應啲市民一齊幫手？即係可能政府啊，有啲其他人。
政府啊，我諗政府冇得規管，只有話啲人自育咯，我都係覺得盡量自育咯，同埋啲嘢食物啊，因為我見到頭先我啱啱行山，今日我嚟行山嘅，今日我嚟釣魚嘅，咁我嚟行山，咁咧就都比較多垃圾，啲人太過唔自律咯，係啦，即係唔帶翻啲垃圾走啊，咁自己就比較嗰個人嗰個品德有啲問題咯，係啦，因為如果我哋機釣人咧，釣開魚嗰扎人咧，就唔係話大部分都會帶走，但係起碼有一部分都會好自律去帶翻啲垃圾拎翻走啊咁樣，係嘛？
如果係對於提高市民對於固體垃圾嘅認識，首先佢哋要知道嗰個固體垃圾對環境嘅影響先啦。咁我哋可以從教育入手啦。即係如果啲人係知道，譬如我將我飲完個膠樽抌落海，係會令到啲譬如啲大嘅魚會食咗落肚，會令到佢會死亡嘅。咁如果我係知道有咁嘅影響嘅時候，或者當我哋抌膠袋，啲魚可能會誤以為佢係水母食落肚嘅。咁可能就會令到佢哋我抌之前會唔會諗下，我會唔會有更加好嘅處理垃圾嘅方法呢？咁第一教育入手，咁第二可能教育，咁亦都可能從大人嘅教育啦，或者從小朋友從小開始去教育。咁如果係即係小朋友自小就知道我哋要保護海洋，啲垃圾一定唔可以就咁抌落海嘅，咁可能就會更加有效去即係令到即係更加長遠啦，令到啲市民係會要保護個海洋啦。另外呢個方法，政府可以做嘅呢，譬如係立法啦，我哋可以禁止一啲人去抌垃圾，即係譬如如果就好似香港地下抌垃圾咁，係會被票控罰1500蚊嘅。咁假設呢個係一個法例，如果我同樣地我將垃圾抌落海，咁只要俾人見到，咁都會係同樣有受到懲罰嘅。咁可能都有個阻嚇作用，令到阻止到市民去抌垃圾落海。
Establishment period of the draft Potoi Islands Development Permission Area Plan, 82 representations and 619 comments supporting the plan were received by the Town Planning Board, including 12 green groups and concerned groups. Most of these comments are supporting the conservation of biodiversity and landscape of the Potoi Islands, and raised concerns about the suspected unauthorized developments in the area. A number of Potoi residents and villagers like Sugo and Muipo also support the conservation of Potoi's environment. One of the most effective ways of protecting Potoi Island is to designate the island as a country park. According to the Hong Kong Birdwatching Society chairman, Lau Wai Man, most areas of the island have to be zoned as conservational areas, so that both the ecological and geographical value can be well preserved. In fact, turning the island into a country park can also raise citizens' awareness on conserving our own marine environment. With proper information provided, citizens can have better understanding of Hong Kong's unique marine environment, thus encouraging them to protect it so that it can be inherited to the next generation. Another measure that can be taken by the government is to lay out a roadmap for meeting one of the UN Convention on Biological Diversity's archie targets of conserving at least 10% of our marine and coastal areas of high conservation importance. Certain areas in Hong Kong are shortlisted by WWF as the marine ecological spots, which are areas hosting representative, rare or threatened species and habitats that merit conservation and scientific research. Protecting these marine ecological hotspots brings numerous benefits for people and wildlife. At least tripled economic benefits in return through improvements in factors like employment, coastal protection, and fisheries can be expected. In fact, determining Hong Kong's marine ecological hotspots is only the first step. The government should work with experts to build a consensus identifying those marine ecological hotspots in need for priority protection and management, and recommend appropriate conservation measures. Moreover, It should also seek advice from different stakeholders' work to ensure the right balance is struck between social and economic needs and environmental protection.
In conclusion, we can see that Potoi Island is actually a wonderful place for vacation. In fact, it is not the only place with such biodiversity that are encountering serious pollution problems and the destruction of natural habitat. Indeed, it is not only the responsibility of the government and the inhabitants here, but also yours and mine. So, are you willing to take the responsibility of preserving our own marine heritage?